Egghead Island just ended, Saturn got his ass kicked, sadly Vegapunk got killed, and the Straw on their way to meet Shanks in Elbaf. But before we get there, there's something we have to get out of the way first, and that's the new bounties for the Straws. So yeah, let's get right into it. We're gonna be predicting what these bounties are gonna be, and some other characters too. I'm starting off with a big one, and that's with Monkey D. Luffy. His current bounty is 3 billion berries, and Luffy set up for a major bounty increase after what happened in Egghead Island. So what is brand new actually gonna announce if we do see him, or what are we gonna see in the news school when the crew gets a newspaper? Well, my prediction is that Luffy's bounty is gonna increase to 4 billion berries. I believe the Egghead Island incident is honestly too big of an event for him not to get at least a billion berry bounty increase. And since the crew are going to Elbaf and Shanks is there, that's actually going to play a factor into how much Luffy's bounty could be entering the arc. You see, when Luffy and the Straws are entering a new island, Luffy's bounty is usually lower than the main boss of that island. Shanks' bounty is currently 4,048,900,000, so yeah, Luffy's bounty has to be lower than that. It would just go against Oda's writing style for Luffy to be perceived as already being stronger than the person in the island he's gonna go see. That doesn't really happen in the series, it's always the opposite. It happened with Crocodile in Alabasta, it happened with Moria and Trailer Back, it happened with Big Mom in Whole Cake Island, it happened with Kaido in Wano. And I know you might point out that, oh, Luffy's bounty was actually higher than Doflamingo's bounty entering Dressrosa. But Doflamingo was a Shibukai at that point, and he's had his bounty frozen for a very long time. So that bounty was honestly not an accurate representation of him or his strength. I mean, just look at Crocodile. When we got this new bounty, it's listed at 1,965,000,000. And at the bare minimum, Crocodile is somebody that Doflamingo is at least comparable to in strength. I believe Doflamingo is way stronger than Crocodile, but that's another story for another day. So Luffy's bounty being higher than Doflamingo's bounty is an outlier, and that's mostly because it was for plot purposes. It makes no sense for Luffy to have a higher bounty than Shanks before meeting him. One of Luffy's sub goals towards getting the One Piece has always been meeting Shanks and surpassing him. And that's probably gonna happen when they have a confrontation and Shanks and Luffy both acknowledge that. Not with the whole world government issuing a bounty to say, oh yeah, Monkey D. Luffy is stronger than Shanks now. Nah, that's not gonna happen. This is something that's been built up for a very long time in the story, and the bounty increase is not gonna settle that. So like I said, Luffy is entering Elbaf with a 4 billion berry bounty. Now let's move on to someone's bounty that's not gonna be as hard to predict, and that's with Chopper. Chopper's current bounty is 1,000 berries. I predict it's going to increase to 2,000 berries. Oda is going to keep on holding Chopper and keep on running the gag of him having a low bounty. Someone else that Oda actually trolls too is Sanji when it comes to bounties. His first bounty was a sketch of him that looked nothing like him at all. His second bounty was Only Alive, and his third bounty had his name Vinsmoke in it. And the latest bounty actually had him having a lower bounty than Jinbei. So when it comes to Sanji's bounty, Oda is either holding him or trolling him, like something is gonna go on. I'm actually not sure what Oda is gonna use to troll bro now. Actually, put down your predictions in the comment section. How is Oda gonna troll Sanji when it comes to his new bounty? But I don't know, I just feel Oda is gonna give Sanji a proper bounty just because of how big this Egghead Island incident is. So because of that, I have Sanji's bounty at 1,833,000,000. As for his rival, Zoro is always gonna have a higher bounty than Sanji, like that's a given. And I actually have Zoro's bounty being the highest by first mates entering Elbaf. Mihawk doesn't count because him and Crocodile technically run cross guild, and we haven't seen Ben Beckman's bounties, so I'm just talking about the bounties that's been reviewed so far. That being said, I predict Zoro's bounty to increase to 2,222,000,000. I know that might seem crazy, but trust me, aside from Luffy, the only other character Oda loves to glaze is Zoro. Rounding up the other Straws that will have at least a billion berry bounty entering Elbaf, we have Jinbei. I predict his bounty is going to increase from 1,100,000,000 to 1,600,000,000. And I also predict Robin's bounty will go from 930 million to 1,430 million. As a matter of fact, I predict the rest of the Straws to have at least a 500 million bounty flat increase. The flat bounty increase for the Straws have been increasing as the story has progressed, It started out from 50 million, then it moved all the way to 300 million when we got to Wando. It only makes sense for it to increase after this Egghead Island incident. With that being said, for the rest of the strats, here's what their bounties are gonna be. For Nami, it's gonna increase to 866 million. For Usopp, his bounty is actually gonna increase to 1 billion. I know, right? Crazy. But I think he needs that, especially entering Elbaf. Like, Usopp is gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? But yeah, I think Usopp's bounty is gonna be 1 billion entering Elbaf. As for Frankie, it's gonna be 894 million. And lastly for Brook, it's gonna be 883 million. But honestly, these are just my predictions. What do you think the strat bounties are gonna be entering Elbaf? My hot take is that Blackbeard is gonna get a bounty increase after defeating Law. The world government are well aware of that fight happening, so yeah, it should be a given. I believe Oda is gonna follow the trend of Blackbeard having a higher bounty than Luffy. Kind of the same thing with Shanks. Luffy's bounties are typically lower than his opponents. And if Luffy gets a bounty increase, I feel Blackbeard has to get a bounty increase too. Also, Garp is captured, so yeah, he definitely should get at least something for that too. So with that being said, I have Blackbeard's bounty increasing to 4,380 million, making him the most wanted pirate in the story that's alive. Aside from Blackbeard too, I actually expect the Blackbeard pirates to have their bounties revealed. But for this video, I'm actually only gonna speculate on what Aokiji's bounty could be. And I personally have it at 3,903 million. I have a reason for this specific number, but I don't really get into that. If you can predict it though, comment down. I like to see you guessing my reason why. I mean, hey, Aokiji did defeat Garp, so the Marines are technically kind of forced to acknowledge him as a pirate, even if they don't want to at this point. Someone else that I actually feel that's gonna get a major bounty increase is Bunny. Because of what Vegapunk did, she essentially controls all the pacifistas in the world. That is a huge deal. Not to mention, she's essentially a second Nika. Same way how Robin got a bounty of 79 million when she was 8 years old. I expect something similar to happen here, just on a much larger scale. Expect Bunny to get at least a billion berry increase to her bounty. I'd actually put it at 1,320 million. That is crazy for a 12-year-old. Like crazy. Another person that I'll be shocked if they don't actually get a bounty increase is Sabo. I mean, he was in the last panel of people that Vegapunk mentioned that could reach the One Piece. He also invaded Marijoa, he has the Flame Emperor title, and it's kind of like a beacon of hope for the whole world. Yeah, I think it's about time he gets a bounty increase, and I actually predict he's gonna get at least a 3 billion berry increase to his bounty. And that'll put him at 3,602 million. These are the people that I can predict their bounties. We're also gonna get the bounties of the red hair pirates in Elbaf, but it's kind of hard to predict that because I just don't know how strong those guys are. But yeah, let's wait and see till we get there. Also, check this video out where I rank the top 10 flashbacks in One Piece.